let's talk about the GoRuck Ballistic Trainers and how you should, without a doubt, be buying these over any other notable shoe out there. See what I did there? Also, I'll be using some other shoes that I'm sure you're more familiar with to give you a better idea as to the performance of this shoe, since it's probably unlikely you know someone with a ballistic trainer. Let's get into it. First off, let's talk about who GoRuck is, because I think it's important in wanting to buy this shoe. The company was founded by Emily and Jason McCarthy, a husband-wife team who've both served in some capacity. Emily was in the CIA, and Jason was in the Special Forces. The company was built by these two patriots out of their then home in West Africa to build a better rucksack. Now, I'm not a rucker, but I appreciate their mentality in building durable, well-built, and well-designed products. And it's their patriotism that leads to their research to see how much can be built domestically. And I say this all because, firstly, I like to know who's getting my money and their business motives, but also that I've been trying so hard to make a made in America gym bag setup, and it's just not possible. You can't find enough products made here in America, and most of all, you can't find any cross-training shoes. But you can find one like the Ballistic Trainer that is veteran-owned and also donates 1% of their top-line revenue to various charities who support those who've served in some capacity. Since 2015, that's equated to nearly $1 million donated. Hell yes. So when I think about the idea of wanting to buy in America, which is to support domestic infrastructure, giving money back into our economy, and knowing there are no ethical issues in manufacturing, then I think GoRuck can meet all those needs. And I have faith that GoRuck tried everything they could to make this shoe in America, well, because the co-founder Jason told me. I tried to get an answer over a long period of time from their customer service with no answer. And for all the faults of social media, I love the fact that it can connect people, just like me and the co-founder who responded to me when I slid into his DMs. He stated it's impossible to build and scale at the quality we demand in America, short of building their own factory. Then labor becomes an issue, and if they were to build out a shoe, it would have been leather work boot with a Vibram sole and just cost around $40, which is nowhere even close to what they were trying to achieve and a price point that people just aren't going to pay. They tried and couldn't get it done in a way that made any sense. So I'm okay with that answer. You can see evidence in their products between things like their imported backpacks priced at around $200 and the made in the USA ones that are $300 to $400. So let's get into what they did make. First, the aesthetics of the shoe speaks to me. I think if I were a shoe, I would be a Ballistic Trainer. It's very unassuming, function over fashion, and just not attention-asking shoe. It's a silent professional, just like the founders. Even the lack of prominent logos allows it to sometimes get mistaken for a NoBull. And I gotta tell you, that's an insult to the Ballistic Trainer because it's a much better shoe than this one. And surprisingly, it's a cheaper price. If I were to put these two shoes in front of you, I think it's likely you would say the Ballistic Trainer was the premium shoe because of the components. And as I go through each piece, I'll talk about how they affect my pros and cons. And I took these things through every single type of exercise. And I think that's the best part about doing a CrossFit style training for this kind of thing, shoe reviews. I did plyos, gymnastics, short runs, long runs, heavy powerlifting, Olympic lifting, and rope climbs. Because apparently that's important for shoe design nowadays. First, the upper from the midfoot to the heel is made of 1680D ballistic nylon material, hence the name Ballistic Trainer. Fun fact, I think it's fun anyway, ballistic nylon was used in World War II for flak jackets and subsequently replaced by Kevlar. Anyway, it's a water repellent, great for sweat and outdoor activities, and abrasion resistant for things like rope climbs. And again, I gotta ask, does anyone really do rope climbs so much that it's a focus of the shoe design? Even the midfoot of the shoe is made of a material used in mountain climbing to help with the grip for rope climbs. I'm just not climbing ropes that much and really haven't ever thought, man, I wish these shoes would help me climb a rope better. I actually probably do more legless rope climbs than normal ones. But I guess it's better to have and not need than to need and not have. So rope climbs feel good. One thing I found in my research about this material is that it's hard to dye. Apparently they wanted to use super fabric like NoBull did, but didn't like the functionality of it. However, I gotta say that's one thing I do like about the NoBull. It holds up well and it's sweat and odor resistant. But I also think that the ballistic nylon helps the shoe feel more comfortable. Seems to me they function in the same way. But if dyeing is an issue, then perhaps that's why you're only gonna get things like black and light gray like I have here. And I'm okay with it. You don't need to keep making different colorways of the same shoe for the hell of it. Next is the knit material in the forefoot, matches the ballistic nylon well, makes the shoe look interesting and functions great. It's breathable and has the right amount of stretch during lateral movements and feels tough and doesn't feel like anything will bust out over the seams over time, but only time will tell. Then we jump to the rubber sole comprised of the 3 different rubber components. It's got a flexible forefoot, a grippy midfoot, and a tough heel. There's nothing really noticeable using the shoe based on this design that's any different than any other shoe I've used. Not even the rope climb grippy dealy thing. Or maybe not being noticeable makes it noticeable, because then if something were noticeably affecting performance, then it'd be noticeable? I like the sole. That's all I gotta say about that. You know what else I like? Is this 8mm heel drop. Ankle mobility can be an issue for a lot of people. Not for me, but it does help with easily getting deeper and down into squats. Higher heel has equated to higher output, especially in Olympic lifts. It's exactly why lifters are used in the Olympics. Just not the 20mm you see with those, because then it becomes detrimental to the performance of all other movements. It is, however, 1 more millimeter than the Metcon 7, which through my testing made it a more balanced shoe. I feel the same about the Ballistic Trainer. But I think it does affect things like deadlifts and back squats, which I believe are better to do barefoot or with a flatter sole. Exactly why strongmen and powerlifters wear things like Chucks, Vans, or even Jordan 1s. By the way, my next CrossFit shoe review is going to be on the Jordan 1s, because why the hell not? So be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when that comes out. Now, one thing I do love that allows me to comfortably use the Ballistic Trainers for squats and deadlifts at lighter weights in a workout and even Olympic lifts is allowing the 3 points of necessary contact on the bottom of the shoe. Something the X1 failed to do, and why I think this was the worst shoe for cross-training 2021. It's also something designer Paul Litchfield, whose claim to fame is the Reebok Pump, made sure to include in the functionality of the shoe. Anyone else think it's kind of odd that NoBull, which was started by 2 Reebok guys, and this Ballistic Trainer, designed by a former Reebok guy, have striking similarities? I don't know. Lastly, the GoRuck does come with 2 insoles, so you can get flatter with the flat insert or keep their more anatomical feel hugging the natural curves of the foot, which has been my preference. It's also thicker, which helps keep with comfort in runs, but it's still not a completely comfortable shoe for anything farther than 800 meters or so. But again, it's a balancing act that if you're going to make a shoe that's good for lifting, you sacrifice the cushion we've become accustomed to for longer distance running. The only shoe that I've ever felt more comfortable running for a cross-training shoe has been the Metcon 7s, because of the proprietary Nike React foam that was originally designed for basketball. But for the Ballistic Trainer, it's completely fine on shorter runs and sprints. One last thing I love about the shoe was the versatility beyond the gym. When I travel, I always have to think about packing gym shoes and shoes to go out. With these, I just wore these to the airport, took my flight, and went straight to the gym after I landed. Walking around for hours and traveling in these felt completely fine, and I was able to wear these with normal clothes, and no one could tell the difference. So all in all, this shoe really didn't have any shortcomings except for those when you get into real heavy lifts or longer runs. But that's very common for all cross-training shoes that need to be a jack of all trades and master of none. And this shoe, in my opinion, is what NoBull tried to do, and GoRuck just did it better. A no bullshit, function over fashion, beautiful workhorse shoe. I like the people who found the company. I have faith the company is doing what they can to manufacture domestically, and I believe this shoe is a well thought out design. If you're someone looking to buy from a smaller company or an alternative to companies who question their manufacturing, this is it. Oh, and by the way, they're also good for rope climbs. So if you like this one, hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, along with the alert bell if you want to see more content like this, and shoot me some suggestions if you got them. My goal is to hit 10,000 subscribers in 2022, and I'll be doing that by putting out not only more content, but higher quality, and I couldn't be more excited about it. So stay tuned, and I will see you in the next one.